Cattle production in Iowa is an important piece of Iowa's economy, culture, and way of life. Today, we will discuss why cattle production in Iowa is so successful and explore different cattle housing systems. The Midwest, specifically Iowa, is uniquely positioned for livestock production because our climate lends itself to raising crops and livestock. On average, we receive approximately 33 inches of rain per year. Ample rainfall and rich soils are an ideal combination to raise crops like corn, hay, and soybeans. Different phases of cattle production necessitate different housing needs based on season, stage, and type of production, and resources available. Today, we will discuss the pros and cons of different housing styles and how they apply to each stage of production.
My name is Laura Cunningham. This is my husband Aaron, and together we own Skyview Farms. Adding this barn to our operation, there's kind of three main benefits that come to mind when I think about what's changed from how we used to raise cattle before. The first and foremost benefit is in calf health. This cover really provides some consistency for our calves, and we calve in March in northern Iowa, so one day can be 70 degrees and the next day can be 20 degrees, and so this cover just keeps them consistently dry, consistent temperatures, and kind of mitigates those extremes, which is really important in those first few days of life. The second thing I can think of is the lack of pasture space. So we would go into seasons not really knowing if our landlord relationships would still be there, if we would have access to grass and enough room to graze. This just removes some of that challenge. If we don't have grass, we can bring them inside and still have a comfortable, safe space for them to relax and raise calves. The third reason this was a great move for us is it's an investment in our family. We added our first child to the family in 2020. He loves everything about the farm and about the cows, so it was an instant conversation about how do we create space for him? How do we make our operation something that lasts into the future and something he can be part of? So this barn added safety, it added consistency and knowing that we would have space and could grow our cattle herd, and a place that I'm not afraid to bring him to as he gets older and wants to help and be part of the farm.
We know not all landscapes are suitable for crop production. For example, some fields are too wet, while others may be too steep to safely farm or contain a soil type that is better suited for pasture. Rather than becoming fallow, farmers can utilize those acres as pasture, allowing cows to exercise their superpower of converting human and edible plants to something we can consume: beef. Cows convert grass to beef while simultaneously maintaining habitat for other wildlife. Pasture system is less labor intensive for farmers, allows cattle to take advantage of natural shelters from inclement weather, strongly supports cattle health, and requires little investment in infrastructure like buildings and shelters. For families that already have pasture as a part of the operation, it's a cost-effective way to raise cattle. Pasture isn't always the ideal fit for all phases of the beef life cycle. Grass is a low-energy forage, so it's rather inefficient for any phase of production beyond a mama cow and her baby calf. Additionally, farmers are facing a drastic uptick in competition for pasture due to urban sprawl, the price of land, competition with crop production, and even hunting leases. For all these reasons, accessibility to pasture in Iowa continues to be more challenging and become cost prohibitive for some producers. Next up is an open feedlot system. Open lots, like you see in the picture, can be dirt or cement. Most outside lots in Iowa would be dirt, like this farm in northwest Iowa. It can be noted this is primarily for feedlot cattle. It's not nearly as cost-effective to house cow-calf pairs in open lots due to high feed costs. Feedlots like this are the most common type of feedlot system in Iowa because they require less labor, materials, and upfront investment to build. Cattle are grouped in large pens, which gives animals more square feet per head compared to barn systems. Open lots are the most susceptible to inclement weather, especially in the spring with large rainfall events and at times lots of mud. Mud can temporarily make it more challenging for cattle to walk, stay dry, and require larger daily energy expenditures. Farmers use innovative methods such as shades, bedding, mounds and slopes to combat inclement weather to keep cattle comfortable. Open lots give farmers flexibility on how large the lots and pens are, which can make the barrier to entry smaller for beginning farmers. Depending on the size of the feedlot and management style, this type of system can be more labor intensive due to the sheer size of the facility and tending to the cattle. Cows put their superpower to use through their four-chambered stomach by eating human inedible feedstuffs. Storage systems like the bunker you see here keep feedstuffs fresh and readily available on site. Common feedstuffs include chopped and fermented corn, otherwise known as silage, hay, and corn stalks. Food waste, such as fruit trimmings from the supermarket, potatoes, brewers' grains, and distillers' grains, a byproduct of ethanol production, are all things cows eat. Each day, a specially formulated mixture of feed is delivered to cattle to meet their nutrient requirements. Cows are net positive contributors to the environment by upcycling these forages and food waste into beef. Next up, we have the Monoslope Slap Barn. A monoslope barn is a system that has gained popularity among farmers that are growing cattle in their developmental stages from approximately 1,000 to 1,600 pounds. Like other barns, cattle are easily monitored for any sickness or discomfort. Cattle are really efficient in this kind of system, oftentimes having higher average daily gains while eating less feed during frigid temperatures. You'll notice the pitch of the roof is slanted upwards. This allows the sun to shine in during the winter and provides shade during the summer with ample airflow. Monoslopes have slatted floors. This keeps pens clean by allowing manure to fall through the floor to a cement storage tank. The slatted floor works best for mature cattle, so this type of system is used primarily for finishing cattle destined for the beef supply. Manure is pumped out and deposited on crop fields. It's a highly valuable source of fertilizer for growing crops, so the benefits are twofold: returning nutrients back to the soil and saving on fertilizer costs the farmer would otherwise have to purchase. The biggest cons of this type of building are the initial upfront cost. It's a substantial capital investment, but for families building for the next generation, it can be a worthwhile investment. To learn more about cattle production in Iowa, visit iowaagliteracy.org or iabeef.org.